Guys, are you tired of poor-fitting clothes? I was too, until I found Barbell Apparel. Barbell's gear is stylish and functional. It's built to power whatever your workouts, your work days, or your adventures demand. The comfort and fit of their gear is unmatched. At Barbell Apparel, satisfaction guarantee is not just talk. It's a promise. Wear it, use it, live in it. Their gear is built to endure your every move. Barbell's mission is to help empower your fitness journeys and to help you break boundaries. Life changes. Bodies transform. Whether you are gaining, losing, or evolving, they will swap your product hassle-free for a new size, no questions asked. If any issues arise, they've got you covered with repairs or replacements. This is all backed by a lifetime and size exchange guarantee. So it is the last workout gear that you're ever going to need. Barbell's gear is seriously durable. I want you to go to barbellapparel.com. I want you to seriously step up your fitness game. Or guys, just click on the link I put in the description. Poirier's back. I mean, this is so interesting to me, and it warms my heart. It really does warm my heart. For all the reasons a person might get into fighting, but one of them is just simple respect amongst their peers. That's it. Maybe you got picked on, maybe you got bullied, right? I mean, it's the same thing at school. Like, you don't have to go beat that bully up if he just respects you. If you do something, you get his respect. You guys don't have to fight in the first place. If he gets yours back, and now you can move on through life and be civil. I'm only sharing for you when you're fighting for things like that. Dustin Poirier is as legendary as they come. He is as Shogun-esque as they come. Justin Gaethje-ish as you can get. So Dustin says, man, I might be done. I don't know. But to explain what Dustin was saying to you, because he was speaking very openly. He wasn't speaking in code. He was speaking openly, and it was thoughts that he had already had. Would have known what he was going to say if he had a victory and what direction he was going to go, and would have known what he was going to say if he comes in second, what direction he was going to go. So this wasn't something where he was caught off guard. He's being very open with you. But with Dustin Poirier, many times, it's like poetry, and it's got to be interpreted. Right? Like, he is such a likable guy, and he sounds great. I'm not saying he's not a good speaker, but he's not the most wonderful communicator. Sometimes he can use a bunch of words, and you look at it and go, okay, I don't know what he said. Like, just for example, if you were to back up prior to the fight, he talked about, I am not going to reclimb that mountain with a loss. Now, many of you heard, if I lose, I'm done. That is not remotely close to what he's saying. And when he says, I might be done, but I want to take that statement where you were misunderstanding. You were misunderstanding, some of you, that he was announcing a retirement. I'm all in or I'm all out. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's not what happened. He's actually letting you know quite different. Feel free to match me up any way you want to do it. Before, I was on a path and a journey to the championship. And that limits some of my openness and willingness as I'm on a climb for a recipe of which is not guaranteed or specific, but that my coaches and I have laid out. Okay, fine. So when he tells you that he's not going to reclimb, he's letting you, the audience, know, find me anybody. And by the way, I'm now opening the door for you to find that opponent also at 170 pounds. That is what he meant when he said, I'm not going to reclimb the 155-pound. He's saying he's going to move a little bit. Or at least he's willing to move. So it was actually a message to you guys. Now, post-fight, you got to make sure you have this down. This is spot on what I'm telling you right now. Not kind of. I am 100% I speak Dustin Poirier. When he took that microphone, he told Joe Rogan, I don't know if this is my last one. Okay? Again, you heard Team Poirier, beautiful and wonderful women and men in his life are going to sit down and they're going to come to a decision of what's going to be next. Not even close. Dustin Poirier said the words to Joe Rogan, I do not know if this is my last fight. When he said that, He is saying to Dana White and company in the war room, fellas, I know you don't generally give fights, particularly ones that pay as much as mine are going to cost you, to guys that are not champions or on their way to being champions. And I'm openly telling you, I am not going to pursue that again. I am here to do the fun stuff. You've let Nate Diaz do it. You've let Nick Diaz do it. You let CM Punk do it. You let James Toney do it. It's rare. There's not many people. You didn't let Ronda do it. You didn't let Anderson do it. You didn't let St. Pierre do it. Like, it's really rare. But I believe that I belong on that same island. I believe if you look around, there are enough fans. And if you remember back to 299 in Miami, and it was a sold-out house, of which it wasn't until you put me on the card. I believe I belong in that same category of star. So when he tells Joe Rogan, I don't know if this will be my last fight, he's not talking about a decision that he has to make. He said, I don't know. The UFC has champions and guys are on their way to being champions. I'm going to openly tell you, as one of the most honest guys you've ever dealt with, I'm not doing that. I don't fit into what you're talking about. It'd be no different than if Dustin came out and said, hey, Joe, from now on, I fight at 163.5 pounds or I don't fight at all. And Joe, I don't know if they're going to contest 163.5 pounds, but if they do, they can call me. And that's what his message was. And don't misunderstand that. Dustin is more open now to fighting than he ever was. He's more open to going down the rankings, taking on new guys, something bright and shiny over here, taking on some old veteran. By the way, I mentioned both Diaz boys, come back. I mean, these are really great ideas. I think Colby Covington's got some massive legs to it. That's a rumor that I'm starting. But Dustin said he's going to fight Colby on site. I mean, right, not for nothing. The ball's already left center field on that one. Kamaru Usman called out, or in a degree, but spoke about Dustin Poirier. Spoke about me. He'd bring the best out of me. He fights like a dog. I fight that same way. It's very interesting. That would welcome to a whole nother weight class. And not to mention, I don't know that Kamaru Usman, I don't know what he wants to do. He has not been very clear. In many ways, Kamaru Usman might be doing what Dustin's doing, which is, hey, I'm not going on championship runs anymore, but there's still some real big stuff for me over here. Volkanovski, in many ways, right? If this Poirier is as good as advertised, in many ways, Volkanovski is now a man without an island. That's where Max Holloway found himself 2 months ago. Nowhere to go. They didn't know what to do with him. They threw him in a fight that nobody asked for against Justin Gaethje for a belt that nobody was discussing. Turned out to be one of the greats ever, right? So Dustin Poirier is right. There is an island. There is an island. George Masvidal, regardless of my disdain, belongs on that island. Anybody with the last name of Diaz, Nick and Nate, belong on that island. Who else, guys? Who go? Conor, of course. Where the outcome of his last match doesn't matter. The contendership ranking or stakes for this match do not matter. I'm with Dustin Poirier. I'm with him 100%. I think it's, hey, what took you so long? I'm for Volkanovski sliding into that class. I'm for some of these dogs that have been there and done that, but they're not ready to go out to pasture yet. I'm completely for this. I've supported this for the longest time. Dustin did not flat out call for it, but he gave you guys the message, man. He told you everything that you needed to know. He's telling you got 2 different weight classes. Compete with anybody as long as you're interested, as long as you want to say it, right? It's got to work for my contract. They got to pay me a bunch of money, so they need a high placement. I'm going to have to be a co-main. I'm going to have to be a main event. Probably going to be 5 rounds. Maybe it'll be 3. I'm open to it. That's what Dustin's saying. I am your guy. I'm your guy. But I do understand there's a few things that are going to have to come around to make this whole thing make sense. So you, audience, please get to work, get to the internet, and make your suggestion. And 2 guys already have. Volkanovski and Kamaru Usman.